Mutually assured destruction style lying flat, the CCP is truly afraid. This is Jersey's news commentary channel. On April 28, the Ministry of State Security suddenly published an article on its official WeChat account, portraying lying flat as the result of systematic brainwashing by overseas anti-China forces. The article claimed that a certain overseas organization funded anti-China media and think tanks to fabricate narratives such as struggle equals exploitation and class solidification makes effort meaningless, while heavily sponsoring lying flat influencers to mass-produce short videos promoting ideas like lying flat is justice and anti-involution equals anti-exploitation. The problem is, throughout the entire piece, it never identified who this overseas organization is, nor did it name any media outlet, think tank, influencer, specific funding, or financial chain. A state security agency making such grave accusations of ideological infiltration without providing even the most basic targets, evidence, or pathways only reveals one thing: this is a deliberately fabricated lie. What does this indicate? It shows they are not presenting evidence, but issuing threats, not solving a case, but manufacturing influence, not explaining why lying flat has emerged, but placing a frightening label on it. Even more worth questioning is this: issues involving ideology, youth thinking, narratives of struggle, and social values would normally be handled by propaganda organs such as the Central Propaganda Department, the Communist Youth League, People's Daily, or CCTV. Why, this time, did the Ministry of State Security step in? This is not a minor coincidence, it is a major signal. When the Ministry of State Security takes the stage, lying flat is no longer merely an emotional, employment, or social issue. It is redefined as a national security issue. This means the CCP no longer sees lying flat as youth complaints, but as a form of soft resistance capable of undermining the state apparatus. The CCP is truly afraid. It is not afraid of a few young people staying in bed, nor of some netizens saying no house, no marriage, no children, no overtime, nor of a few videos promoting giving up as the optimal strategy. What it truly fears is that once this mindset spreads from youth to officials, teachers, researchers, entrepreneurs, ordinary workers, and grassroots cadres, the entire society will enter a state of low energy consumption, low desire, low participation, and low trust. People remain alive, machines keep running, slogans are still shouted, policies still issued, but the internal dongli is gone. That is the real destructive power of lying flat. Direct resistance can be suppressed. Street protests can be crushed. Organized movements can be labeled and dismantled. But lying flat is different. It is not an advance, but a retreat, not a shout, but silence, not rebellion, but non-cooperation. It raises no banners, forms no organizations, issues no manifestos, and produces no leaders. It simply says, "I'm out." And that is precisely what makes it so difficult for the CCP to handle. Chinese-style lying flat is not Western leisureism, nor a simple low desire lifestyle. It is a form of self-nullification chosen by individuals in a highly controlled society after they find themselves unable to change, resist, or strive. It carries a sense of slow-motion suicide as retaliation. If you force me to live like a slave, I will stop producing for you. If you want me to marry, reproduce, and become exploitable, I will refuse marriage and childbirth. If you demand 996 burnout, I will refuse overtime. If you expect me to buy property, I will rent, return home, or become a full-time child. If you ask me to sacrifice everything for national rejuvenation, I will step outside your narrative. This is not simple laziness, it is a silent form of mutually assured destruction. The lying flat discourse first gained traction around 2021 with figures like Luo Huazhong, who quit a factory job in Sichuan, cycled to Tibet, lived on odd jobs, and called this lifestyle lying flat. Foreign media also noted that Chinese youth were rejecting high-pressure work, low-return struggle, and endless competition. Since then, lying flat has evolved. Among youth, it means no house, no marriage, no children, no graduate exams, no overtime. Among the unemployed, it manifests as full-time children. Among university faculty, it becomes mental shutdown under pressures of publish or perish, project quotas, and administrative metrics. Among grassroots officials, lying flat cadres are widespread. Among private entrepreneurs, it means no investment, no expansion, asset transfers, offshore exits, or shutdowns. Several categories are particularly representative. First, full-time children. As youth unemployment worsens, many graduates return home, exchanging household help for financial support from parents. Second, lying flat officials. This is not anti-system behavior, but self-preservation within the system. Policy volatility means that doing more leads to more mistakes, doing nothing minimizes risk. Third, university teachers and researchers, crushed under endless metrics and expectations. Fourth, private entrepreneurs, the most critical group. When they lie flat, the economic engine itself shuts down. So the CCP is not unaware of the dangers of lying flat. It understands them all too well. For decades, it has combined traditional authoritarian control with modern ideological governance, turning society into a vast system of control. It imposes burdens: education, healthcare, housing, childbirth, elderly care, while still demanding sacrifice through grand narratives like national rejuvenation and youth responsibility. But this generation no longer buys it. They are not brainwashed by foreign forces, they are awakened by reality. Housing prices taught them. Employment taught them. 996 taught them. Lockdowns taught them. Failed expectations taught them. The CCP continues to repeat slogans from decades ago: a struggle for the nation, for the future. But young people now ask, why should your future be paid for with my life? This is why online sarcasm emerges. If there is an overseas organization funding lying flat influencers, name it. If there is a financial chain, show the records. If people are paid to lie flat, tell us where to sign up. Such irony directly exposes the emptiness of official narratives. The CCP has run out of options. It cannot admit severe youth unemployment, that would mean admitting economic failure. It cannot admit class solidification, that would mean admitting systemic failure. It cannot admit collapsing confidence among private businesses, that would mean admitting policy failure. It cannot admit passive officials, that would mean admitting governance failure. It cannot admit declining birth and marriage rates, that would mean admitting narrative collapse. So it blames overseas forces. The old playbook remains: anything inexplicable is foreign interference. Anything unsolvable is ideological. Anything uncontrollable is elevated to national security. But lying flat cannot be resolved by censoring posts or intimidating influencers. It is not an organization, but a psychological death, not a slogan, but a consensus, not a class emotion, but a collective response to collapsed expectations. This is what the CCP truly fears. If society believes effort is futile, the state machinery will idle. If youth refuse marriage and childbirth, the demographic machine will break. If entrepreneurs refuse investment, the economic engine will stall. If officials refuse responsibility, governance will decay. If intellectuals lose faith in innovation, knowledge production will collapse. This is not a straight revolution, yet it may be more dangerous. A revolution is visible and organized. Lying flat is invisible, diffuse, and pervasive. Everyone remains in place, yet only does the minimum. Everyone continues living, yet reduces desire. No one openly rebels, yet everyone withdraws internally. This is mutually assured destruction style lying flat. Its logic is ruthless: if I cannot change or overthrow you, I will simply stop sustaining you. So yes, the CCP is truly afraid. It fears not the term lying flat, but the psychological death behind it. Not influencers, but the loss of societal belief. Not lack of effort, but the collapse of the myth of effort itself. In this sense, lying flat is not the degeneration of Chinese youth, but the despair of a society under total control. It does not shout revolution, yet it dissolves the system from within. It does not attack power, yet power suddenly realizes the slaves have stopped running, the crops have stopped growing, the screws have stopped turning. And that is the real reason for fear.